Welcome back, class. Welcome to the next video of this subject, what's the inverse of a matrix? Today, this video here, I'm going to teach you how to use a calculator, which you're going to love and kind of secretly hate me at the same time, because this you could use for every single thing involving a matrix. The thing is, you need to know, though, the logic behind why it actually works and not just plug things blindly in a calculator. But I am going to teach you to use a calculator today. So we're going to look at a matrix larger than 2 by 2, but before I do that, I'm actually going to do one of the examples from the previous video just to show you, hey, this does exactly what we were doing anyway by hand. So I'm going to go to www.desmos.com/matrix. You also could go into a Google search and type in Desmos matrix, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. So I'm going to go here to this last one we did yesterday. It's the matrix -3, 3, -6, 7. Now, I'm going to move mine over here so I can still see the matrix, and I'm going to come to Desmos calculator, and this is the screen that's going to pop up, okay? So I'm going to add a new matrix, and it's already 2 by 2, and I'll tell you how to switch that for the next examples that we do, but this is already 2 by 2. I'm going to add it. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to put in -3, 3 for row 1. -3, oops, I could type in, use minus sign 3, 3, which is opposite of a calculator, I know. And what's the next one? -6, 7. -6, 7. All right, now I'm going to hit this key here. It's enter. It's kind of telling my calculator, all right, A is going to be referred to as this until I change it. So my calculator knows that A is this matrix. So what I want to do, and if you can see, I could put in A, B, C, D, E. I could put in 8 different matrices here. I could square it. I could find the inverse. I can do this awesome transpose, which we may or may not talk about later. We could do it to some power. We can find the determinant. We could do everything. Now, let's do the determinant first. Determinant of A. Okay, and it says -3. And let's just look. Oh my gosh, that's what we got when we did it by hand. I know, guys, I know. So now I'm going to actually do A, and it just brings A there. And now I'm going to hit inverse, and you'll see that it came up with the same thing we did. It has -2.33. I have -7.3 divided by 3, which is the same thing. 1 is in row, oh my gosh, they match. It's amazing. 1 is in row 1, column 2. -2 is in row 2, column 1. And 1 is in row 2, column 2. So this calculator does all this work for me. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So as long as you can master typing in the calculator, you can use the calculator to check your work unless it says show your work. All right. 2 by 2s, we do expect you to be able to use the formula and do by hand, but 3 by 3s, we actually are fine with you just using a calculator, or 4 by 4s. Not 4 by 5s because they're not square. You can't do them. They have to match rows and columns. So now we're going to put this 3 by 3 in the calculator. So I'm going to grab my calculator and a new matrix. Now, I don't want it to be 2 rows and 2 columns. You'll see there are these white dots here, so I can make it 5, 4. We wanted a 3 by 3. So I'm going to add a new matrix. Ooh, it labeled B. So if I want, I could clear everything, and I could make it a 3 by 3. And now when I add it, it'll bring it back to A. It's cleared the matrix A that I defined before. So now I'm like starting from scratch. So I'm going to come back to my matrix here. I'm going to write these down on a piece of paper so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. It's 1, 2, -1, 2, -1, 3, -1, 0, 1. Let's do this next one here. So I'm going to go to my calculator, and it is 1, and my next value is 2. and my next value is -1, and then 2, and then -1, then 3, and then -1. Now, you would say, oh, Joe, just skip over that. You still have to hit 0 in because you'll see it's gray. It's just showing you it's saving its place. So you still have to type in 0 even though it's there. And we're entering this lovely matrix. I've just defined it. Let me just make sure that it is the same thing, and I can minimize this and move it over. 1, 2, -1, 2, -1, 3. Fantastic. So I simply want to find the inverse. I don't need to find the determinant. I just type in A inverse, and it finds it. Now, it is in decimals, which is totally fine to do that and leave them at like that. Let me write these on a piece of paper too. It's going to be 0.1, which is 1/10. It's going to be 0.2, 2/10, -0.5, 1/2, you guys know. 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, and now I'm going to write this on my lovely flip chart as my answer. And then let me change that to a different color. 0.1, 0.2, -0.5. I always like to do the brackets afterward in case I write too big. 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, and 0.5. That's it. The calculator does all the work for you now. Hopefully you guys are like, this isn't that bad. Let's just walk through one more together, and then I'll have you guys try two on your own to see if you guys can get the correct answers. Okay, so this one says if B is this, then the inverse of B would be. Now I'm going to bring my screen over here, and I'm going to do a new matrix, and it's a 3 by 3, and I'm going to keep it as B because that's okay, because it says B on this paper anyway, and I don't really need the two together yet until next week. So I'm going to type in 5 for that one. 5, 2, -3. And I'm going to type in -2, -6, 4. 2, -6, 4. As long as I'm checking what I'm writing and making sure they match along the way, the calculator does it all for me. It's only user error that could happen here. So make sure that you're really paying attention to the negatives and all that. -4, 3, 5. Just double checking. And it simply wants me to find the inverse of B. I know the notation for that. So first I'm going to hit enter just to define B. And then I'm going to do B. And I still hit the inverse key, even though there's an A there. That's just ooh, wow. So when I round, I'm going to go 3 decimal spots. Wish I could copy paste it. I can't, so I actually have to write this down on another sheet of paper. So I'm going to do 0.318, 0.144, 0.076, 0.046, oh, 45. Whew, watch your rounding, Miss Freibush. Negative 0.98, 0.106, 0.227, 0.174, 0.197. So now I'm going to go back and write it on my piece of paper, and it's, again, most of the time going to give me these decimals. So let me come over here and simply write down what B inverse is equal to. So 0.318, 0.144, 0.076, 0.045, negative 0.098, 0.106, 0.227, 0.174, and 0.197. If I would multiply this and this together, if I would take this times this follow-up question, what would they equal? They would equal 1. But how do I write 1 in terms of a 3 by 3 matrix? This is the multiplicative identity, a multiplicative inverse. This is what they would do. This and this guy cancel each other out to give me this lovely matrix of 1. All right, I have 2 here for you to try. I would love you to pause the video while I go through and actually do these by hand. I could do them while you guys type them into the calculator. This would be 1 over the determinant. So 40 minus 30 is 10. So it would be 1/10. 8 and 5 switch places. 3 and 10 change signs. So this should be 0.5, negative 0.3, negative 1.8. Let me just type this into the calculator just to see that I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to clear this out, new matrix 2 by 2, and I'm going to type this in 8, 3, 10, 5, 8, 3, 10, 5, and I am going to enter it, and I'm going to do A inverse, and I'm going to see that the 2 matrices are the same. Game changer. I'm going to do this last one. If you would press pause so you guys are please practicing these. I'm going to type in my new matrix, negative 3, negative 6. Six and 9. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do B inverse, and it's going to give me these lovely numbers to write. So it's 1 and 2/3 if you know that. So I'm going to change it. So I'm going to change this up so I can hit this. 1.667, which is 2/3. Negative 0.667 and negative 0.333. There you go. It does all the work for you. All right, I do have practice attached that you can try and put everything together that we've done so far. And then if you want to try these first, I'm going to go on to the next slide, which is going to be the answers. You can check your answers and press pause there. There's also more practice online that you guys can try. Attach the original sheet that has the plan for the week. Please email me with questions. Good luck with all this. And I'm going to Zoom on Wednesday. If you want to at 12:30, I'll have some office hours. Good luck. Have fun using the calculator now with everything. All right, guys, stay safe.